I'm just going to run you through today about the branding and our festival and events, because we are a town of festival and events. And just to give you a sense of how brand and how the sense of how, I suppose, brand got together with a lot of the festival and events and how we influenced the festival and events to be more recognised in Athy than they are. So again, the branding of festival and events as a place experience. This is us here in Athy. We're a small traditional heritage town, 60 miles from Dublin, and this is where we are in the map. Why brand in Athy? Brand to generate local pride, to raise inspiration, to attract visitors and to grow businesses, to encourage investment and to restore pride. Our mindset in Athy, I suppose, would have been very low for many years in Athy. And I couldn't change that, and a magic wand couldn't change it sometimes, but brand influenced people to be more positive of the town, to look at the town in a different light, to realise what we have. We have it all, but just to people make them realise that we did have everything. And it was, I suppose, there's a lot of apathy in Athy and negativity. So it was just getting people more positive and just trying to lift that negativity away from a lot of things in Athy. Our big idea, as we have been run through the process, we all went through a similar process for our big idea in Athy. And this is to explore of what we are and what we're about in Athy. So that's why we came up with our big idea, because of all our festival and events, to celebrate Athy. This, again, was with many teams, and our teams are festival and events, community and charity, and our location. And our festival and events, as because we have so many festival and events in Athy, our community and character because of our heroes and heroines, our heritage, our characters and character, our location. We're a green oasis. We're proximity to Dublin. We're 20 minutes from Carlow, Newbridge, Portlaoise, and we're a heritage town. Oops, sorry. Our objectives: bringing the story to life, to create a more positive feeling for people in Athy, both that was already living in Athy and people that just come into Athy for festival and events. And I know, we say that we have all these festival and events and people might only come for one day and they might never come to Athy again. That's fine. I mean, obviously we'd love them to come back, but once they bring away a positive experience and that they just know that when they have been in Athy, that they bring away this positive feeling and that they do want to come back. And that's a very important thing with our festival and events. And our distinctiveness, why we're distinctive from any other town. Our place experience, so that again, that you bring away that experience of Athy when you leave it. And our engagement with and ambassadors. And we have a lot of key ambassadors in Athy. We had 2 rows of trolleys, 2009 and 2010. Our roses of Tralee were from Athy. We have international boxers. We have all these key people, but we also have the ordinary Joe soaps that are ambassadors for our town. Like we have local people in pubs that are there for hundreds of years, generations and generations of pubs, and different people in Athy that we needed to use them more as our ambassadors. Oops, sorry. Again, we are a town of festival and events, and all these festivals were already there before brand came. We didn't invent these events. However, we needed to start working with them. Our challenge, a vocal point, bringing brand to improve the town and making people realise that that's why we were there. At the beginning of the project, a lot of people thought, brand, what is it about? It's just a pot of money. What are you going to do with it? Is it just like money that's going to be used here and there for nothing in particular? But it was just to improve the town and make people's mindset better, and that's a very, very big thing that we needed to do. Embracing the visual expression was because we did have this new visual identity of Athy. It's not a logo, it's not a strap line, it's a new identity of what we are and who we believe in and where we come from. And our support materials. What has been done? We have, I'm warned, I'm on a time here because they've been told not to spend too much time talking, so I have to watch the clock. But Athy promoters are a group that we've already have put together and are our place board. And these are a group of people that we work together with all the time for festival and events. And our ex-organisations are all the different organisations that we've brought into this group. And we got all these different organisations around the table from all key organisations in the town, and people belong to the festival and events. And it was just, again, as Lisa said in her, it was just trying to get everybody working together and working under the same umbrella. We had a lot of groups in Athy that were working, doing all different things, and they were all going different direction. It was just getting to go all on the one road, and that was a big, big task for us in Athy, to get everybody working together and everybody thinking the same way. Our annual programme is where we just get together at every event. Before there's an event, we sit down around this table with all this group of people, and we organise what we're going to do off of this event to have another similar event, but just a smaller scale of it, just to link the two things in together. Again, this is just our visual identity. I just want to keep showing this into your head so that you won't leave here today without knowing what we are in Athy. Our website, and this website is to showcase our town at top level. And this website is one that, like Athy, I suppose there's a lot of different websites going on, but like Athy never had a central website, a central portal website. So this website, again through the brand, we put this website together for Athy, and again there's all different things in it, but specifically like festival and events. So there's a link in that anybody that ever wants to come to Athy to look to see if there's a festival event or what we have on, you can go into this website. What's happened? Linking events, new events together. And I'm just going to give you a little example of a Trad Athy, which is an event that we have in Athy, which is traditional music. And a Dragon Boat Festival, which for the first time this year that we had this festival, and we've never had it before in Athy, and they've never came to Athy before with this festival. But this lady that runs this particular festival had done so much research for the last 2 years in Athy, and seen how much work we were doing through the brand and how we were promoting our town so well, she decided to have this festival in Athy. So us as a group got together and we got the Trad Festival in Athy to have at the very same time, which was a big risk for us in Athy to have two festivals at one time. We didn't know how it was going to go. All we could do was just hope with a wing and a prayer that we'd pull it off. But I have to say we did. The Trad Festival, what we done to link the two festivals together, we put the Trad Festival, we had traditional music down by the river, different times when the boats were going down the river. So we created that festival feeling. Our National Ploughing Championships, James in a little while is going to talk maybe a little bit more about that, but these are just a few examples maybe of just different things that we had done. When we had a National Ploughing Championships, as Anne Harrod talked about earlier on, we had 80,000 people in Athy, 3 days. First year in Athy, people, they whinged, they moaned, they gave out about the traffic, they gave out about everything. It was a serious problem. Nobody wanted it. They wanted it out. They wanted to get rid of it. It was just a problem. So as a group, when we got together as Athy promoters, we sat down and we said, look, this has to stop. So we decided then as a town, we'd launch the National Ploughing Championship the following year in Athy. We'd have a little small festival to launch it. We started out the first year, no money to run this little festival. Again, we just had something like 40 tractors just going down through Athy with their flags on it. And then people started believing that this ploughing championship was all about Athy. Because it was only a mile out the road, but we just had to use it. The shops stayed open at night till late. The restaurants all stayed open till 10 and 11 o'clock at night. There was music in all the pubs, music on the streets. All this started to happen the second year, and people started realising that we have to use what we have. The Try Athy, which we have every year in Athy, again, we needed to put something onto that, so we started having a family fun day off of that, which also, through us as a group, we had this family fun day. So it wasn't just about people coming, professional athletes coming to jump into the river. There was other things going on in Athy as well. Just an example of our Dragon Boat Festival. Cutbacks, this is what we could come up with in Athy. This is our boat. We just bought our traditional, this is the launch of that day, and we had our traditional music going down by the river. But on a serious note, this was our boats. These was our dragon boats. And this was just an example of just the festival feeling. Again, we have kids involved. We have an awful lot of children involved in everything that we do. It's very important. It is a very big thing in Athy to involve children in everything we do. the traditional music down by the river. Just as a sense of amount of people that we got on the day, just down by the rivers. And this is most of our events that we use when we're using our rivers and canals, that this is the amount of people. And this is just a sense of how many people do turn out on the day. Again, just down by the river. This here is 4 German dancers that came over for the traditional week in Athy, the traditional weekend. And we brought them to the Dragon Boat Festival, and we got them to dance down by the river and do some German dancing. And needless to say, they got branded Thai bags to bring home with them. Again, as I spoke about our little tractor run, just launched it in Athy. As you can see, just simple few tractors going down the Athy, but people started to believe in us and that we were a great town and that we were the host town of the national ploughing. This lady created a lot of activity in Athy for us, and as through the brand project, we got this lady on board, and she went in front of our tractors. We also had her this year on our Patrick's Day parade float. And where she didn't cost us very much money, we got an awful lot out of her. We made national television, you wouldn't believe. The RTE News came down and filmed our Patrick's Day parade this year because, they were very impressed with our float, and particularly this lady. We also made the next night, we made the Republic of Telly. It's another programme that comes on a Monday night, and also they show the Patrick's Day parade in Athy because of this lady. But again, we were getting our town out there just through this lady. And again, this is another big thing that Brand would have done. And I'm looking at Siobhan Rudden there, so that the logos are on the tractor. So just a little sense of just some of the stuff and the festival and events, our Try Athy. This is just a picture, I suppose, of just how communities and just people are starting to believe in their place, just their housing estate. And it's a small saying in Athy, but like a small, slow start but strong finish. Because these people, if people have started believing in just their own estates, and some of our estates in Athy probably need a little bit more work than others. But like when they know there's a festival and event coming on, they all get out, they just do their piece, and like it's just really brilliant to see people start to get involved. And it's all about local engagement. Again, we have different awards through the brand. We have awards for businesses and tidy towns, and it's just little things we run at the end of it all, just to make people, just something to look forward to at the end of all the hard work they put in. Live coverage. This is signs that we have just for people. We put them on all the relief roads coming into Athy, and this is just to allow people to advertise their festival and event in all the roads coming into Athy. I'm just running through some of these pictures now because I know I'm on the clock. Just to give you a sense of some of the activities and festivals. This is one at our county show, and this is our county show last year. And everyone thinks of a county show, they think of cows. But actually we had Star Wars at ours in Athy. So, this is just a sense of some of the things and activities that go on. And we as a group and as a people have linked into all these events. Again, raft race. And then these are all different things that goes on through the winter, different smaller events that goes on through the winter in Athy, Gordon Bennett Rally, and different things that we would have. This is just an example, and you're not meant to be able to read the reading. It's just an example of where we were at. Athy left out by mistake. And then we kind of went from that to ploughing event showcases Athy. So they're two totally different ends of the stick, but yet that's where we are, that's where we're going, and it's brilliant to see that that's the level that we're coming up to. What can I say? I know John spoke there earlier on about world class, and we're not to say we're world class. World class, sorry. I'm just going to tell you a little small story about this guy, and for anyone, I don't suppose I have to introduce this man, but this is Jensen Bunton, world Formula driver. $1 million man. And we had a Try Athy in Athy there 2 weeks ago. And this guy actually, to have him at any event in Ireland, you could pay up to €50,000 just to have him, just to launch an event. He mightn't even sign a signature. And that's just how, I suppose, this guy, who he is. We got him in Athy. He came to Athy to do the Try Athy this year. And he had to pay us €45 to do the Try Athy. He had to pay his fee. However, this guy put us on all the national papers, I mean, we just got so much coverage from this man. On the Wednesday night, because I'm very much involved in the Tidy Towns myself, and on the Wednesday night, we were just cleaning all around the river and doing all the bits that we have to do through Tidy Towns. And this guy was in practicing on the river. And he was just in there, a Norman Joe soap, you might as well say, just in doing his bit in the river. And I got a little chat to him for just a split second, and I just asked him, you know, what did he think of Athy? And he just think it was an amazing place. And for a guy with such a high profile, to say that Athy was an amazing place, I'd have to say it brought a tear to my eye, because it's just brilliant of what happened. And this is just an example of how a festival and event can just create so much activity in a town. What's been achieved? Community involvement. I mean, the community involvement that we get in Athy is absolutely brilliant. And I think just through the brand, you know, just sitting down with people, doing one-to-one interviews, speaking to them, getting them more involved in everything was just absolutely fantastic. And we have increased in belief in people. People are starting to believe in the town now. I mean, again, as I spoke earlier, mindset was very low. I'm not saying there are a few people probably still have mindset. Towns can't get rid of that, but think profile, and people are just thinking so much more about the town now than they did. Giant working projects, it's people working together, again through Athy promoters, and then before an event that we all just start working together. More events, we have like the Dragon Boat, for example, that festival that we ran so successfully. I mean, that festival, that lady rang me the week after and wants to come back at the very same time, only if the Trad Week have it the same time or as it again. So I think that's a big achievement, and I think it's fantastic for us. Positive media profile. When we would have started out in the project, there was no, I suppose, relationship between the media and our town. We always got the bad stuff. We still get it, but we don't get it as much, because we have a personal relationship with a lot of the media now, where they ring us, they ask us, what's going on, what's the next event, what's good in Athy? And so we've got all this now under control. Again, it's really good for the town. Better media relationships, again, as I spoke about there, I mean, it's just a better relationship with the people and the key local papers, and increasing visitor numbers. So by doing all this, Tidy Towns, Athy promoters, doing everything that's right for the town, making our town positive, our place an experience, people will come back.
Patricia, you run the clock.
Thank you very much. I'm gone.